Hello, my challenge problem people. Let's do question 3 today for our challenge problem. So it says a decimal number has 2 digits to the right of its decimal point. I'm going to do this. Here's my decimal. So there are 2 numbers after it to the right. If we round to the nearest tenth, the result is 13 and 7/10. What is the maximum or largest possible value for this number? Use words and the number line to explain your reasoning. Include the midpoint on your number line. So remember, this is super similar to the question we did in the last video. So why don't you pause the video, try your best to solve, and then come back when you're ready to check your work. Okay, did you finish solving? So they're saying our number rounds to this, but it's more than that. What would be the highest number it could be? Here's what I know. In between 13 and 7/10 and 13 and 8/10 would be 13 and 75/100. So my number has to be smaller than this midpoint, otherwise it would round up. So I need to figure out what is smaller than this. In fact, it is only going to be 1/100th smaller. So my number is actually going to be 13 and 74/100. Because it's smaller than the midpoint, we would still round down. Okay, let's check B. What is the minimum possible value for this decimal? Use words in the number line to explain your reasoning. Include the midpoint on your number line. So if you think you can create the number line again, where this time your number is smaller than 13 and 7/10, go ahead, give that a try. Okay, if you want to work through building the number line, I'm still going to make you solve by yourself. But in this case, we're going to round up to this because our number is going to be smaller. We're trying to find the minimum. So we'll be 1/10 smaller than this. Now see if you can solve. So what is the smallest number you could possibly get to that would still round up to 13 and 7/10? Pause the video now and then come back to check your work. Okay, here's what I know. In between 13 and 6/10 and 13 and 7/10 would be 13 and 65/100. It could be my midpoint in this case, because that would still make it round up. Could it be any smaller than my midpoint? So if it was 13 and 64/100, it couldn't, because below the midpoint, it would round down. So what's the smallest number I could make it? That would be exactly the midpoint. That is the smallest. If it's below that midpoint, we would round down. Right on the midpoint, we still round up. So the smallest number it could be is 13 and 65/100. How did you do? Good job for coming and do the challenge problem. So proud. Bye.